Kufuado.
Gabi?
Well, I have the daily graphic. There's a special supplement. John Ajekum Kufuor turns
80. That's my boss. Turns 80. That's on Saturday.
Absolutely. And then I have a couple of stories as well. 60% of Liberia's electric power stolen. South Africa hit by blackouts.
Well,
And there's another one that says Energy Minister promises himself-free Christmas. And mine last will be on the NDC primaries. That's also in the graphic, if I can find it. I'm sure
you
I can find it faster than some could find their filing fee. It says, well, I think 7 so far have picked up. 2 more aspirants pick NDC presidential primary forms.
That's right. Mary?
Right, so I'm reading from the Daily Guide, and the top ones I have here are Menzgold staff being forced to go on leave. There's also the story of the president of the president, who is also the flag bearer of the NPP, declaring already that he will be winning 2020. And then finally, the new Ameri deal, which has been laid in Parliament. So that is all from the Daily Guide.
Well, I come back to you, Joyce Mutari. Interesting introduction. The NDC has no understanding of social economic development, so perhaps we start with you, Joyce.
Well, thank you very much. A very good morning to you and good morning to all your listeners and viewers out there. And of course, a happy birthday in advance to the former president, John Ajekum Kufuor. Well, thank you very much. I think I had actually 3 stories. I had one on 72 farmers, fishers to be
that's your
honored
second
today.
story. We'll get to that.
All right. Thank you very much. Anyway, so good morning, and I'm actually very curious. I found this actually very interesting when I opened up to the political page of the Daily Graphic of Thursday. I am sometimes not too sure what exactly it is that we're trying to promote. Whether we're trying to promote democracy or we're trying to promote politicking all the time, and what have you. I do think that for the president to not just say that maybe the NDC for once has done something wrong, that he says the NDC has no understanding. I think when you speak in this manner, use such choice words to describe the biggest opposition in your country, a leading democratic figure, I think that leaves a lot to be desired. You talk about social, you talk about economic development, you talk about basically no understanding. I do think that the name of the National Democratic Congress itself presupposes a party that understands the social democratic tenets of the world generally and democracy in particular. I think when you hear a very senior lawyer use such language to describe the main opposition party, that also leaves a lot to be desired. I think when you go to the body of the story, it also has many specifics, making reference to the introduction of free SHS, the administration which has actually overseen the revival of the Ghanaian economy, an administration that has actually grown the economy from 3.5% to 8.5%. You know, let's face it, for most of all the social interventions that we speak of, I think today we celebrate our farmers, we celebrate the contribution of agriculture to the development of this country. We continue to find innovative ways of developing agric even further, not just as a social intervention, not just as a means of gaining employment, not just as a way of creating jobs, but of course as a way of also improving upon our economy. And I think as we celebrate Farmers' Day, we recall the contribution not just of the National Democratic Congress, but of course of former President Jerry Rawlings, who saw this as a way to encourage, to motivate, and to develop the agricultural sector for the good people of this country. I do think that if we start to criticize things, it's okay to criticize your opponents, but I think you should do so with a certain modicum of respect, a certain approach that allows you to continue to develop democracy and encourage full participation by all. I think Gabi keeps clearing his throat, and I told you, Gabi, today I'm going to be cracking the whip. Remember, the whip may not be at the back.
I think, Joyce, I will have to bring Gabi in.
Yes, so let me finish. And then you talk about human capital. I mean, 60 years plus after independence, I am sure that if you can basically
Joyce, we have
acknowledge...
quite a number of stories that you've
Okay,
already
thank you.
selected, so I think I'll bring in Gabi here for a couple of minutes, and then Professor Gajipo as well.
Well, I think I have some sympathy for Joyce, because I think quite recently the original chairman of the NDC was challenged about social interventions that they brought in whilst they were in office, and he mentioned Terminal 3 as a social intervention. So
that captures the mood.
So that's all I have to say about that.
So for all the interventions that you wanted to
Well,
make,
I mean,
this is what you wanted to see.
Your original
It does have some
chairman
social
said,
connotations, doesn't it?
the construction of the
It has-
Terminal
it has-
3. Yeah,
Please,
it's a social intervention.
I think we go to Kofi for his very first story. I mean,
Interesting highlights of the day. So my very first story from the Daily Guide comes in respect of the Menzgold issue. So Menzgold has basically required its staff to proceed on leave from Monday, the 10th of December, and to return on the 20th of December, and has also asked for all its managers to return back to its head office. So the thing I find about this is that, in contrast to what they asked in November 2018, or they did say around November 2018, it sounded as though around that time everything had returned to normalcy. And what I seem to sense from this is almost as though we're slowly winding down. That's what I get from this story. Now the CEO has asked for everybody to be calm about it. Nana Piamensa Namwan has asked everybody to be calm about it. But I mean, I'm just sensing what has been going on around this news, and judging from what is being talked about in social media, and it appears as though everybody seems to have a sense, or most people seem to have a sense, that this is a kind of winding down process. Whether that is the case or not, we don't know, but it sounds and seems that way.
well, I mean, people have talked about a banking crisis in our country. We all know what has happened in the past 2 years when a number of banks have gone down or have been consolidated. But I would like to bring in Audrey on this matter, where he has a comment or two.
Well, I wanted to take another angle,
That's fine.
not on the banking crisis,
Okay.
but when I heard Gabi and then Joyce congratulate President Kufuor on turning 80 on Saturday, I thought the bigger lesson here, and what is nice, and happy birthday to President Kufuor, is the fact that democracy is thriving, and so now we're privileged to have ex-presidents
That's right.
that we can celebrate at different moments. And I think that we shouldn't take it lightly at all. So even us, and Joyce was talking about criticism, even as we critique, even as we discuss things like the banking crisis, we should be sure we don't create the impression that Ghana is not working.
That's right.
Because we need to know that Ghana is working, even if it has challenges, in order to have confidence in democracy and work towards maintaining it.
Well, today I'm sitting here as a neutral arbiter. I'm in the presenter's seat, so I'm not going to pass too many comments on that. But I think there's a lot of times when people feel that the political situation in the country is stridently divisive, which is not to the benefit of the national interest. And I believe that we should always place the national interest first. That is very, very important. Gabi, let's pick on your first story.
Well, my first story is to do with Jack.
Yes.
He turns 80, as has been well noted. And I think really, I was at the Dombo Foundation launch yesterday, and when he spoke about how he knew Dombo, Chief Dombo, you begin to then recognize how long he's been around. Because he was in the Buzia government with Chief Dombo, who was then Interior Minister, Kufuor was Deputy Foreign Minister. And how he spent time at St. James Fort with Dombo. I think President Kufuor was
He was there for about 15 months.
About 15 months, and Dombo a little over that. And how he led, or he was part of the movement against the Champong, and part of the movement to bring back democracy, lost an election, won an election, led the transformation of Ghana, managed to show how you can be pro-business and still be pro-people in terms of his social intervention, handed over after 2 terms, and still continues to contribute, particularly setting up the foundation. I mean, we are blessed in so many ways, and we're blessed to still have him with us. And it's good to celebrate people while they're alive. And I think it's just...
I think... Yeah.
So all together, happy birthday,
Happy birthday,
Mr.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
But I think I'll be afforded the opportunity to,
Absolutely.
despite the fact that I'm here as a presenter. I mean, he's someone I worked closely with for many years, and the legacy we can learn from him is he's the paragon of tolerance, both internally and everything. He's in his government, he pulled everything together from across the field. His vision is bringing people together. Politics is a very tough business, and I quite remember in 1998, and I was leading the campaign of the current president, Nadu, against Kufuor in Sunyani. It was very tough. Went around the country, and it was a tough, heated campaign in Sunyani. But after the conference, in Sunyani, when he reached out to me and said, look, Kobna, come and join my campaign. I want us to win this 2000 together. And then after that, to be close to him as press secretary for 6 years, sat with him, close contact, and sometimes he would pass a comment and laugh. He's there's another side of him that people don't know. He's so humorous and cracks so many jokes. In those days, there was no multimedia, so maybe I couldn't record a lot of stuff, but the stories that he's told me about the past political history of our country is lovely. And I think his life was rich. It's enriched all of Ghana. I think all of us, politicians, patriots, should learn from him. And to be able to be tolerant of one another and bring us together. Anyway, let's go now to Kofi again. Maybe you should pick your second story quickly.
Yes, so my second story, still from the Daily Guide, is on the new Ameri deal. So Honorable John Peter Mewu has, as we know previously, withdrawn the original deal from consideration in Parliament and has now resubmitted a new deal. So the contents are not very fully out there yet, but from what we're sensing from the minority in Parliament, they obviously are opposed to the new deal. And I think it goes back to the discussions which were had around the first deal as well, which is that we've got 2 more years to go on this deal, and which would have cost us anything between, I think, $339 million to $500 million. But this new deal, if it does go through, will cost us 1.15 billion and would last for another 15 years. So I think...
Really?
Well, that's what we're getting from the news here.
It's been it's a very complex,
but I mean, it's good. It's good. Mr. Ochre is here, so maybe he can throw some more light on that.
Well,
but
we don't have enough time to be able to.
But
go
it is
through the
what is
details
shown
of
in the
all
news,
that. And
right?
I think at the Institution of Engineering, we are planning to call all the stakeholders in the energy sector. In fact, we've written to the Energy Commission, Ministry, VRA, Gridco, to have a session, one of our evening sessions, to get into the bottom of the matter and the details on the matter, whether we are being well served as Ghanaians and whether it's value for money. Because I'm restricted by time and we have to go to other segments, so we can't do all the details that we would like to do. But Joyce, you had a second, maybe quickly, if you have a second story.
Certainly, I had a second story about 72 farmers and fishers to be honored today. As we all agreed earlier on, today is Farmers' Day. So indeed, His Excellency the President will be in Tamale, where the program is actually going to be hosted. And I do think that successive governments, irrespective of what Gabi wants to say, have actually contributed enormously to agriculture in this country.
Politicians cannot speak
and
without
I
taking
think
a
that, yes, absolutely. The Elmina fishing factory is still waiting to be utilized. I read also that the President commissioned a new one yesterday, a $60 million facility. I do hope that eventually all of these facilities would come to augment existing facilities, create jobs for the good people of Ghana, and of course improve upon agriculture as we would all want to see. I do think that when we speak largely about Ghana beyond aid, let's look at the things that would actually help propel this theme into something more realistic than the main rhetoric that we're getting used to.
Well, thank you, Joyce. Gary?
Well, just a little comment on the new Ameri deal. I think the fundamental difference is that it ends when it ends. It's not as if it's been extended, because I think that was the revised one. This one, I think, ends in about 2.5 years.
15 years.
No. I think my understanding of this is that government can decide what to do with it.
That was the one that the government curtailed, I believe.
You know, initially it's supposed to end, I think, in about 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yes. And then they were to extend it and reduce tariff.
That's right.
Now, what they've done this time is that when it ends, it ends. Government owns it. It can decide what to do with it.
So is that in 2.5 years' time or 15
Precisely.
years' time?
2.5 years.
Right. Okay.
That's my understanding.
As I said, I mean,
and then of course there's some reduction. Save government, I think, about $50-something million, and then they've even spread the time of how to make good what is left to be paid. So all in all, I think it's a far better deal.
I think as a country, we should be just looking at how to protect
how we can make progress.
And what is important is all over the world, there are industry standards. I, for the life of me, cannot understand how we can pay 18 cents for a unit of power. And that's some of the power contracts that have been signed. And whatever the case may be, I mean, if it's even 8 or 9, still high, but at least it's reasonable.
And they are take or pay.
Yes, take or pay.
You know, so those are things that.
Well, I'm sure we also understand the exigencies of the time and the emergencies that we had. That there were some urgent needs for us to actually do something.
But it means you should negotiate well.
And Gabby, you do know that I slept in darkness all of last night. You know that, and I'm not a very happy person this morning.
I think we are now going to the online review segment. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'll get back to you. It's 6:54 and you're on the Super Morning Show with DJ Kalahari, and I hope you're enjoying me this morning. Yeah, I'm back in my element. And online news review is brought to you by Zenith Bank, in your best interest. Goyle, good energy. Download Safe Doctor app now from Google Play. Safe Doctor, the future of better medical care. Safe Doctor, Oga Doctor from Nigeria. Goyle, hooray, the rewards are raining at Goyle's Ifeanyi promotions. Do you buy fuel at Goyle? Well, I do. Hurry and do so, because in the month of November alone, 720 customers have received their ultimate rewards from the favorite CIMG Petroleum Company of the Year, Goyle, at the Pahufia Oye. Hey, Professor Mills. George Kwang of Ofanko has received 1,000 cedis worth of fuel on his Geo card for the month of November and a weekend hotel stay for 2. Many others were rewarded with 1,000 cedis worth of fuel for accruing the highest points. Well, DJ Kalahari, I've been patronizing you for years. I haven't received anything, so please do something about it, and quick. So collect your scratch card anytime you buy Goyle fuel 80 cedis and above. Dial *161 *4645 hash. You know, those of us from the earlier generations, this hash star confuses us a bit, and follow the steps. Your loyalty rewards also await you at the end of the month if you buy more fuel and accrue more points. Goyle, Ifeanyi promo runs till January 2019. Zenith Bank, banking Christmas marketing drive. Bronya, Bronya, Papa. This festive season, Zenith Bank is offering you the opportunity to become part of this big, wonderful family. I can see the smile on Audrey's face. She also likes Bronya like myself. Visit any Zenith Bank branch nationwide during the first 2 weeks in December and let our able team assist you choose from an array of products, services that definitely cater for your unique banking needs. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Whether you're an individual, an SME, or a corporate entity, at Zenith Bank there's something for everyone. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. MyJoyOnline.com, the news review online news. Bid raid at 16 Chinese fresh guns arrested over illegal miners. This story broke yesterday. I was a bit surprised. 16 Chinese with guns. How did they get through the guns right through into the bush? Something must be done about the internal security of our country. The single biggest arrest of suspected illegal miners has been effected in the Ashanti region. Oh God, my region. 16 miners were rounded up deep inside the Kobro Forest Reserve, believed to have huge mineral deposits. I mean, that's something that we have to really question a lot more, interrogate. Forest Reserve, how did they get in there? And this has to be investigated. I do online, yeah? And there's an audio. Sami Jemfi descends on Titus Glover for doing school business, school children politics. What's that supposed to mean? Well, and then also Rwanda government critic acquitted. I think that's nice. I mean, people should not be put behind bars for expressing their opinions. I think we can go further on. Well, new experience for all of us. I did this many years ago when I was a kid, sitting behind a console, but it wasn't like this. This is new generation stuff. Audrey, how do you feel about today reading the news? And you've been on the edge of
I'm in the media, so right. It's not a new experience for me. I used to host Talking Point for a long time also contribute to shows, but it's been good to be back in the studio.
Yeah, the energy of the young ones around, the beautiful ladies and the guys around. And Kofi?
Yeah, no, it's been fun. It's my first time actually doing a newspaper review like this. So, and sitting with all the amazing people here, it's been fun. I just wish we had more time for the political jigsaw here.
You're trying to draw me back in. I would have loved to be part of the banter. Joyce.
Oh, thank you very much. I think it's been a wonderful experience as always. I've been here a few times. Today has been no different. It's a pleasure to be here with you all. And I look forward to seeing my friend a few more times after here.
Gary?
Well, I'm just happy that now I think 7 candidates have picked up forms. I think the others are wondering whether it would be cheaper to maybe have a sex change.
I don't know what I'll be saying about that.
Don't provoke me, Gabby.
but if you're a woman, you pay half.
Yes, and there are reasons why that is, and it's important that we do that.
But
we want an equal society.
But I'm saying that it probably be cheaper for them.
Well, I think that's it for the news.
We don't want men masquerading as women.
Thank you very much, Gabi, Joyce, Kofi. Wonderful, but 7 aspirants, 10 less than our 17, and I hope they are not all the 7 thieves, as Sidin Ketia said some time ago. We will now go for the BBD News at 7.
The world's radio